Europe is a place where you can travel a few hours and hear a completely different language, try new food, and discover a totally different culture. What makes this truly unique is how easy that movement is. In many parts of Europe, borders are barely visible. You can live in one country, study in another, and travel through several more without ever being stopped. This kind of openness is rare in the world, but it is also something that is often taken for granted and increasingly questioned. While most foreigners visiting Europe are amazed by this freedom, among Europeans we see growing polarization and more voices challenging not just the European Union itself, but also the idea of open borders and free movement. So how does the European Union try to bring people together across borders? And why is that same openness increasingly being questioned? The answer is simple: experiences. For decades, programs like Erasmus Plus and the European Solidarity Corps have given young Europeans the chance to live, study, or work in another European country. Since 1987, more than 13 million people have taken part in the student exchange program Erasmus Plus. For many, this is their first real experience of what European openness means in practice. Being able to move across borders, settle somewhere new, and build a life, even if only temporarily. Others experience this freedom through travel. Some simply by using the freedom the EU passport gives. Others were encouraged by initiatives like Interrail, a single affordable train ticket that allows unlimited travel across Europe. Ideal for backpackers to explore Europe and visit many countries in a matter of days. It's a simple idea, but a powerful one, where borders are not barriers. Work mobility is another key aspect that has made movement in Europe so common. EU citizens have the right to live and work in any member state, and millions do. It allows people to find a job far beyond where they are from and settle there with ease. This creates a Europe where daily life itself crosses borders, where colleagues, neighbors, and friends come from different countries. Together, these opportunities have made European mobility something unique in the world. Not just the ability to visit other countries, but to live, work, study, and connect across them without complications. But this openness is not guaranteed. Not everyone has equal access to these opportunities. And across Europe, political debates about migration are increasingly shaping border policies and attitudes towards mobility. In some countries, concerns about migration have led to stricter border controls or limits on who can enter or stay. At the same time, some governments are also becoming more cautious about international mobility in other ways. For example, countries like the Netherlands and Denmark have discussed or introduced limits on English-taught university programs and the number of international students. These decisions reflect growing concerns about housing, capacity, and national identity. But they also show how openness in Europe is being reconsidered. Concerns about pressure on local systems show that free movement is not without challenges. Some countries worry about skilled people leaving, while others are concerned about overcrowding, housing shortages, and local communities. In some places, borders that once felt invisible are becoming more present again, both politically and physically. Which is why having the chance to experience Europe firsthand is so vital. Seeing and living it for yourself shows both its opportunities and its limits. Because democracy in Europe is not only about institutions or elections, it is also about whether people feel connected across borders, whether they see Europe as something distant or as something they have personally experienced. When young people travel, study, work, or volunteer abroad, they experience Europe as something real. They move beyond headlines and political slogans. Instead of seeing foreigners, they see classmates, colleagues, and friends. Of course, there is also a concern that this kind of openness could weaken local cultures. But in many cases, the opposite happens. When people move across borders, they often become more aware of their own identity, even appreciating it more when they see it through the eyes of others. In the end, programs like Erasmus Plus and the European Solidarity Corps show that the European project is not just about policies or institutions in Brussels. It is about people. And when young people experience Europe for themselves, they are much more likely to care about it, participate in democracy, and help shape its future. Experiences like these have turned strangers into teammates and differences into strengths. Think about it yourself. How would living, studying, or working across Europe shape the way you feel connected to Europe and its people?